format. So that is entirely the type of that information, it will be showing e-content of that information. Through this way, this is entirely, for example, in the PDF file structure is there. So in the top to bottom, the PDF of that file structure, it will be reflected in the one of the standard of the standardization. In the first page to last page, it will be same, it will be reflected same, and there is no differentiative, there is no occurs. So such type of the ebooks is content is the first page to end page. It will be comes to the just like as a test book of that physical format, how it will be going on. The same scenario, it will be reflected here also. So the type of that information it will be providing, it will be processing by bar, and the type of that information is called as a digital, that is called as a bar and digital materials. And the second one is the digitized material. So digitized material means once we have the uploaded, that is the uploaded photo images, photo diagrams, graphs, or statistical data. So such type of the editable option, images as option. So the type of the information we have the uploaded, that is called as a digital materials. Once we are the creating the digital material, uploading just for example, we have the take the one of the photo snap or one of the image of the good image of in our library. So in the n number of the users came. At that time, we have the taken the one of the good image. We are the uploading in our portal. So immediately it will reflect such type of that such type of that images and graphs. It will be reflected to the digital materials. Need of the digital preservation. Why? What is that need of the digital preservation today is the essential. So what is that importance of the digital preservation is most important today. So why? What is that reasons we are providing? So user perspectives. So digital preservation is the mainly to focus on digital purpose perspective by the needs of that user. So the users, that means anyone that whether the student or faculty, any reading of that people is named called as a user. The user perspective, those who are the asking what type of that information they are asking, that purpose we are the creating any number of the users, what type of that information they are the seeking behavior, seeking of that information, they're asking that information. On that basis of user purpose of the project of view, we regularly with the stock market. So stock market, for example, in the stock market, what type of that information day to day in Sensex, what is the going on, what is the commodity price, what is the dollar price, what is the euro price, each and everything it will be provided to display on the screens, displaying on the papers. Why? What is the reason? User perspective of that point of view, the worldwide, the stock brokers, stock vendors, they're the stock buyers, they're the watching each of the information through the portal. So immediately the people will be user purpose of that point of view. They're the uploading that information through the digital display boards. That is the main thing. And the initiatives of repositories, that is the institution's responsibilities. The institution's responsibility means, for example, one institution is there, the esteemed institution of the Central University of Hyderabad. What is that institutional responsibility? So institutional responsibility means that the institutional publications, for example, the Central University of Hyderabad, the faculty, they are the publishing the patents and the publishing the n number of the articles in the Scopus and Web of Sciences, innovative of that R&D, DST projects, they are the getting. So such type of that information where the uploading in his repository. So in this academic year, in the starting to ending this academic year, how many publications is came in our area? How many 2022? How many projects, DST projects we will get it? So such type of that information.
Sir, you are muted.
Yeah. So that is the main thing. So third one is the mission of the present institutions. That is the mission of the present institutions. What is that? First objective of the libraries. So main objective, the institution or institution library main agenda to preserve the information. Preserve the information. That is the most important. So preservation is the most important. So in this academic year, our institution, what type of that information, what type of the digital content of the paper publications, or DST or patents, what type of that information is the prestigious information, prestigious projects, awards it will be getting. Immediately the institution will be taken the mission, the library will be taken that initiative to save that information, to retrieving the information of the institution, to apex of to providing the good information to the all the community of that respective of that institution. So that is the initiative to taken by the library, and also preserving the indigenous cultures. The culture means, for example, what is that our culture? Our culture is creating the good research review of the literature, research projects, research innovation projects. So ambassador training programs. So that is the training courses, research courses, reference courses, refresher courses. So such type of that information, every year, what is that culture that will be going on to conduct in the summer research, summer courses. So such type of that all the information it will be goes to the preserving in our database is very helpful to the faculty and students fraternity. So issues and challenges in the digital preservation. So any one of the application, any aspect to have the taken, some of the problems and challenges is the mainly to competent. So without of that competent, we did not do sustainable. So content of the that is the constant attention. So here in the digital libraries, we are the maintaining the preservation, constant attention is the most important. Constant attention means what type of the preservations we have the taken in this month, what type of the digital content of the information came to our database. So how it will be saving, how it will be retrieving, how it will be providing. So that type of the planning is the most important. That is one contemporary. And the second one is the physical determination. So what type of the physical determination to maintaining here? So we can easily to identify what type of the physical interruptions is the going on, determinations is the going on. Easily to appropriate plannings became the strategic planning to applicable in this area. How it will be planning, how it will be working, what is the methodology we have the applied here. That is one point of view. And digital appliances. So in the digital appliances, any one of the occurs is the came, any of the technical occurs is the coming, any technical problems is there, technical knowledge is the acquiring. So any of these things we have the planet and properly to maintaining. Without of the digital knowledge, without of the ICT knowledge, we did not do sustainable to maintaining the digital preservation. Once we are entered in the delete, automatically the entire data it will be deleted. That is one of the problem. Papers form of the materials. So what type of the preservation is the challenge? Form of that materials to maintaining. So some of the forms is the digital content of that format, some of the Word format, some of the image format, JPG format. So many formats is there in the standard of the formats easily to uploading to the server. That is the most important. And also storage media. So videos is the lectures is there. So lecture videos or otherwise in the video TikToks, any one of that information, good quality delivery of the speech. So such type of that information we have the storing to identify. That is the storing is the major to idea to follow the preserving the information. That is the main thing on the standards. Yeah, and also the storage devices in the CDs and DVDs. Today is the going on. That is the hard disk. So we will save the data. And the standards, what type of the standards? ISO standard, Z.3950 standards. We have the standards in case we have the uploading any of that video. One standard of the picturization, the resolution it will be reflected to delivering that video. So that is the legal and the legal responsibilities and organizational issues. Regional responsibilities means in the legal responsibility, organizational issues, legal responsibilities. especially in the copyright of the act. So where the violating of the copyright one of the problem and organizational behaviors. So the institution, for example, where the maintaining the institution head of that institution, whether the principal or director or management, to providing the supporting of the good freedom to delivering the content of the preserving of the system to specific hardwares and providing the repository of the information. The people will be not taken, the people will be not the organization, they did not do planning, the entire the data it will be collected. And the copyright is also one of the familiar. So this is the main important of the challenges in this area. And the strategies for the digital preservation. What type of the strategies? What is that main? How it will be planning? How it will be applicable? Strategies. Every step is the strategy. Every strategy is one of the challenges to implementation of the time. That is the mainly assembling the accessing the risk, mainly accessing of the risk. The digital library first point is the accessing the risk point of view. So digital preservation, all the data it will be compiling, it will be preparing the DBMS database management system each file to each file. For example, in the we're creating 10 files. So what one is called as a author list, title list, catalog list, or subject list, or physics books, chemistry books. So each of the strategic of that each of the file it will be maintaining. That is the risk after the fact to patiently to uploading that information. That is one country. Evaluation and digital entries. So evaluation of that method. So what is that evaluation method? First, what type of that information it will be retrieving as a search engine or search tool. They are the asking the searcher. Sir, I'm searching one of that information. So in case the system will be reflected to provide that information. What is the strategy? First, what is that the information it will be retrieving? Second, what type of the information it will be retrieving and showing on the screen. So that is the strategy of the planning and evaluation. First evaluation, first this is what first information evaluating what type of the information it will be retrieving. That is the most important. Determining in the approaching of the metadata. So approaching of the metadata standards, metadata, data to data is the metadata. The metadata, it will be transmission as the proper of the data structure of that manner. That is the main important. And providing access to the content. So for example, in the textbook, it will be providing. So it is the bulk who's of that information. Content information today is the content based only. For example, some people will be asking only machine learning technologies. So what is that advanced machine learning? You have done this much of the books or volumes are there. So the people will be not asking that much of. So digital, that is the machine learning trends. What machine learning trends is the people will be asking. So what type of the trends it will be reflected? So such type of the content of that information that is called as a document, small 3 to 4 pages of the document. It will be uploading in the web portal easily to find out the digital preservation to candidates or people to easily to find out. So majorly technical preservations. Technical preservations means so software, that is the software is the required and hardware is the required and the hardware especially the server capability will be increasing. So that is the mainly system configurations, antivirus, cool environment of the temperature. So the services is kept separately. So such type of the technical preservation is the most important. Hard disk, high information storage of the storage and retrieving and delivering the technical hardware of the parts. So the technology preservation is the most important here. And those who are the information where the uploaded, that information it will be transmitted, the safety and security of that environment to delivering the information. And also technology emulation. Technology emulation means, so this technology preservation is okay. We have the saving. So emulation, what type of the information is the current trends is the requirement. You can identify to day, you can uploading the information of the softwares. That is the mainly. Data migrants. Data migrants means especially the migration. So data migrations, for example, this data entirely it will be saved in the SQL database. So it will be shifted to Linux program, Linux data. So Linux module you have the changing to this pattern to that pattern. Data migration easiest of that way to changing one network to another network one software to another software. That is mainly important. So this is the mainly. And here, one more point also is there here. So what type of that information is there repeated mainly to refreshing. So every information is refreshing. What type of that information is there going on? Easily to day to file to uploading the data and the replications. So don't repeat and again same content, same information. So I'm uploading in the yesterday one video lecture of how to publishing the research article. So again, it no need to post the again that much of that article. The type of the 10 to 15 articles is that is the boring of the people. They did not to readable. So that type of the replications don't repeat and again the same videos. So what type of the content we have the uploaded? One content is only requiring. So that is metadata preservation. So every data it will be storing one of the standard metadata. The metadata it will be stored in the structured format. So the structured format is called as a mark format to storing the entirely the information. That is the mainly. So authenticity of the digital information. So authenticity is the most important of digital preservation. So without of that authentication, for example, in the institution, the Government of India Science and Technology, they are the uploading one of that information, quality of that information. That is the authentication of that information. That is government of the gadget information they are the providing. Gadget means that is the Rajmudra. So this is the called as a preamble. This is the main is the this is the perfect of that institution. It will be signed by the concerning the government, concerning the government authority of the people, whether the Prime Minister or Chief Minister and portfolio of that minister. So that's the authentication is the most important. So this is the one parameter and digital parameter standards. So what type of the standards is the most important? That is the very interprobability standards. Interprobability standards means the information is the standardly to delivering the information to the users. So such of the standards we have the maintaining. So how to it will be storing, how to it will be retrieving to delivering the content. That is the most important. And also resource encoding standards. Resource encoding standards also is one of the parameter. So what type of that sources recoding? So once it will be day-to-day updated is the going on. Updated information we are uploading in the system. So automatically all the students, they're the following. And also resources identification standards. So what type of the resources is the standard? So identification is the most important. For example, IEEE standard, ASME standard, AAC standard. So local UGC journals are standard. Which journals is the standard? What type of the information is the standard? To identify, then only to uploading in the server. And also the resources of the standard. So resources of the standards means that is only to authentication of the information resources we are the uploading and resource of descriptive of that standards. Descriptive of the standards means so what type of that information we are the delivery we are providing. So such type of that information and also records of that management standards. So what type of the standards we have the followed? SQL parameter, a Linux parameter. So which standards of that parameter the supporting of in our database, you can follow it. So that is the record of that management system of the standard license to is the most important phenomena here delivering the information of the preservation. So whereas under so many is so here there to maintaining the preservations ISO and OASO, that is OASA, that is called as OAIS, that is the Open Archives and Information System. Open Archives and Information Systems called as the data it will be stored in the servers in case anybody will be asking it retrieving to providing the information. So that is the information models. So that is information models to providing the free access. What type of that information we have easily to store in the separately each of that file in case those who are the asking easily to find out to archives of that information to providing concerning of the people and the fundamentals of that model. What is that main models here? Several models is there: data management, data processing, data administration, data replication, and etc. So this is all, or it will be comes to the maintaining of the database in the standard of the structure of that manner to utilizing the facility. That is the main thing. And confirmations here, premises and that is premises of data model. That is also one of the standard preservation of the data model to applying this the preservation method. Premises data dictionaries. Data dictionaries also in this one of the part, and the objectives of identifiers. So different identifiers is there. There are two types of that data identifiers is there. That is the object identifier as a object identifier type Y, or that is object to type object to identifier type. One is one thing, and object to identifier value. So is the called as a type and value. Both are the differentiative. They are the two aspects. It will be applicable here. And also the extension of the container that is called as a extension constraints. So sometimes the data it will be excluded, more data. So sometimes it will be acceptable because the budget is there. So budget is the access of the data, whose data. So it will be sometimes it will be unwanted information. So such type of that information will be acceptable. Why? Because that is the budget of that information. Any one of the people they are asking the budget, immediately it will be showing that information. That is the main thing. And premises. So premises is the one of the standard of that method, the dictionary of the designing of that information. So here in the conferences of that information, any preservation of that information, the standard structure it will be reflected here. And digital preservation initiatives in India. So in the digital preservation, several initiatives in India, also digital preservation is there. So what type of the preservation in India have the taken? So basically, National Mission for the Manuscripts. So NAM is called as a National Mission for Manuscripts. National Mission for Manuscript means the manuscripts of Talapatra Grandalu. In the Telugu writing, Adikavi Nannaya, Tikana, Errapragada, those who are the people will be ancient of the writers, the poets, they are the root of the articles that entirely that Talapatra Grandas, it will be digitized the digital content of that format, National Mission of the Manuscripts. So that main motto, those who are the ancient manuscripts is there, the Sasanalu, also in the Kakatiya Sasanalu. So such type of the Sasanalu, Talapatra Grandalu, such type of that information, they scan it and upload it in the portal. So that is called as a one of the contemporary national manuscripts. It will be working in the preservation of the digital preservation. They are the maintaining here. And also Digital Library of India project. Digital Library of India. So in the previously Digital Library of India not there. In the Congress government, in the National Knowledge Commission chairman, Sam Pitroda, it will be introducing the National Knowledge Commission to introducing the National Digital Library of India. So National Digital Library of India, it will be 500 of the crores of the project of the funding. That is the entire the library, the million of the books, million of the packages, million of the rare books in the OCLC. That is the open standard structure. They are the uploading in the e-content of that information, in the digital content of that format, in the preserving the library and information services. So not only in the library for the information services, it will be preserving of the ancient studies and ancient information library entirely. The digital content, the previous manual of the information will be transmitted to the digital content of that information. The Digital Library of India has taken that initiative to digitize the information and retrieving and processing through the digital content. That is the mainly. And all the digital preservation initiatives at Indira Gandhi National Center for the Arts. So this is the located in New Delhi. The people will be collecting that information, rare informations. So that the collection of that gallery, it will be stored the information, and the data it will be converted to the digital content and provided to the information to the all the user community. And the union cataloging and union catalog of catalogs, union catalog and catalog is. And also they are preparing the union catalogs. So what are the digital preservation services is there? So what type of that facilities is where providing? So the such type of that content of that information providing this the through the catalogs only. And manuscripts. So manuscripts also it will be helpful to the preservation of that method. to helping of the previously what is the going on. So what are that information is there through the reflected to the manuscripts and art to object. So this is also one of the data sheet that is the 2D, 3D objectives. It will be reflected to the information and secondary and sound reading. So sound reading proves sometimes preserving, for example, just like as a co-class is there. So in the very monsoon season, that voice is very, very beautiful and audible. So immediately the type of that capturing a recording of that voices and uploading it here. So that type of that services is the going on. Kalakosa terms of database. So Kalakosa term basis is also one of the literature of the review, literature collection of the development. They are the collecting and creating to the digital content of that format. And digital preservation initiatives in the National Archives in India. National Archives in India, they are the taken to the digital preservations of those who are the Talapatra Gandha, Shasanas, and historical, that is the Silpas, it will be reflected immediately. The people will be scanning it and collecting that information and uploading through the portal. So that is the preserving the information. So this is the in this academic in this year it will be reflected so and so place. They are the preparing the documentation and uploading in the archives and traditional knowledge and digital library. So traditional knowledging and digital library. So traditional knowledge means in the traditionally what type of the knowledge we have, that information will be converted to the digital library. For example, in the Veda Panditas is there, the Pandita slokas is there. They are the speaking of the slokas immediately were the recording and uploading. So that is the only in the traditional only way. They did not to recognize any of that manuscript. There is any of that physical hand scripts and sasanas. So at that time, the voice calls only. That is the traditional information recording. Traditionally, what type of that information in his mind is there. We are uploading that voices, images through the recording of that method. That is the why. That is also one of the information to sharing, retrieving the information of the processing in the preservation of that method. And National Digital Preservation Program. So National Digital Preservation Program by the Government of India, it will be CDAC under the control of the CDAC. They are the collecting that information in this area to preserving the information. So this digital preservation is this type of that going on. The digital preservation initiatives in India, in other countries, this type of that preservation is the going on. In India, in the world wise, what type of the preservation is the going on? Number one is the Pandora. Pandora is called as a Australian web archives. So what are that information is the quality of that information in the Australia? They are the collecting that all the information and preparing the digital format and providing the archives. It will be storing in the preserving of that archives in the entirely in the Australian country. So that is called as the Pandora is called as the preserving and archiving networks documentary resources in Australia. So what are the document resources are available? What type of the ancient scripts are available? What are the histories are available in the physical content of that information? The people will be transmitted to the digital content of that format and providing the archives of that information throughout the country of that Australia through on that web portal. And also internet archives. So internet archives, it will be provided to the one of the internet information, the standard missions initiatives. What is the going on? This is the USA based web portal. It will be California. They are the providing one of the standard internet archives in the world wise. What is the going on? There on in the America, how many countries, how many states is there? The 50 states is there. In the 50 states, what type of that information they are the collecting? What is that ancient of that information? The data it will be preserving the storage in the data through these archives. That is called as a internet archives. And a million book project or digital library. So this is also one of the major digital library of that mission. So this is the encoded to the Digital Library of India. India and China. This is the one of the major project it will be going on. Digital library of the book mission it will be going on to providing the archives of that information to the digital content of the preservation, and also open content of aliens, OCA. So OCA is called the open content of that aliens. They are the providing to the preserving that information to archiving of the California. So this is the USA database. It will be the information it will be storing and preservation. This also, and also logs. So logs is the one of the famous database. It will be providing the preservation of the safety method of the University of the libraries. This is the developed by the Stanford of the university. So this is also one of the preservation of the digital libraries. In the world wise, how many in India? All the preservations is the going on. So in the world wise, Pandora, Internet Archiving in the USA, and a Million Book Project in the USA, MIT Massachusetts Institute of Technology, Open Content Alliance, and LAX. LAX is also the USA based. This is all are around in that these 5 repositories of the information retrieving digital libraries. It will be available. So what is the main? It will be agenda for providing this information. What is that preservations and archives? What is the main motto to providing access? So what is the preservation? What is the purpose there? The preservation, access purpose, preservation the preservation and archiving. So what is the main agenda? Access. Any one of the people easily to find out to visit the library. For example, Tanjavur is there. So the Tanjavur, ancient Tanjavur, what type of the architecture is the going on, what type of the information going on. The Indian digital archives, it will be reflected to the Tanjavur Silpakala. So such type of the access of the purpose, they are the providing. The access known. So archives nouns. Archives is called as to previous informations. Previous is the going on in the Asia. Ancient is the Asia. What level of that information is the going on? That type of information it will be reflected here. And also authentication. So Government of India, it will be published to the Takshashila information, Tanjavur information. That is the accurate of the information. Government of India, Ministry of the Culture, it will be uploaded that information. That is the authentic government. What is that in the histories and everything? It will be controlled under the Ministry of the Culture and External Affairs. The people will be Minister of the Culture. The people will be identified what type of that archives, what type of that culture is the going on. It will be reflected through the this authentication of that body. Designated community. Designated community means to identify the digital communities. So, for example, in the that is what is called as a national museum, archaeology of India. Archaeology of India, it will be identify the ancient Shilpakalas. So historical villages, they are identified and providing the this much of that BC year of that information. They are the providing. So such type of the communities, it will be helping to archiving that information. So that is one of the people, some of the research people. That is that the people will be helping to the preserving and retrieving that information in the digital area. And digital resources. So digital resources, it will be providing only whatever that information is there. It will be uploading and preserving the information. It will be called as a digital repository, digital content, and digital sensitive sustainability. So what is the sustainability? There is no, the life is the sustainability, where life is the standard, this much of the, so according to the world wise, in the World Health Organization, Indian sustainability age is the 62 years. So America is the 70. So in the before and that, what is the in the futuristic, what is the character, what is not, how to identify. The sustainability is the quite differentiative. Here in the digital library is also sustainability. So in the, for example, in the next generation, there is no internet facility. How it will be sustainable? How it will be working? Without internet, how it will be accessible? The digital content. So the sustainability is mainly depends upon the internet. So there is no computer production in the next academic era. So how it will be accessing through what is the devices? So such type of that all the areas it will be integrated to one part to another part. So that is the digital sustainability. So it will be depends upon the digital sustainability and also file sharing. So in the digital library, it will be preservation method file sharing. For example, that is archaeology of India. So Hyderabad is there. The people will be recently there the identified one of that Buddha's oldest statue. So immediately it will be sharing to the all the Minister of the Culture, Government of India states. So what are the Minister of the Cultures is there? They are the providing this information. This is the case. This is the around in the BC of that year. Recently, we have identified some of that area. So you can see this is the oldest of the Buddha period of the time in the Christ in the BC before Christ. So such type of that information sharing, that is the mainly sys HTTP hypertext type of programming, hyper protocol, the hypertext language programming. So easily to that is one standard of the language hyper markup language of that programming. Hypertext of that language is the going on easily to integrate it to all the databases and also so this is the main networks it will be going on. This is the main thing. So this is the brief history of this lesson. Okay, the digital preservation. So this is gone. It will be completed to the third unit, third block. So now we will don't waste of our time. Up to in the 10 minutes is there. We will discussing into the 13. That is the unit 3. That is called as a block number 4. So digital libraries in the legal ethics and social issues. So in the digital libraries right now we are discussing sharing of the digital libraries, information, retrieving information processing. So everything it will be completed. Now, right now, the digital library, legal, ethical, and social issues. So what is the legal ethical? So what is that ethical? The digital libraries is there. What is the legal ethical and what is the social issues? Legal ethical means, so that is the violated the copyright of the act. So once as the publisher is the publishing the book, so today is the came marketing. So immediately the copy will be copied and scan it and upload into the all the people there. The action is the violation of the Copyright Act. So once the author it will be published the book, it is the author affiliation. It will be goes to the according to the depends of the publication value of that information. So sometimes 20 years or 12 years or 10 years. The period sometimes in the 5 years of that periodicity up to 5 years of that period and without of his author knowledge and permission, we did not to publish up that any of the information from the book. So how it will be getting on through the basis of this matter? This is the copyright only. So once we have the taken that permission, we are copying is not a worry because the author is the given to the authentication of that MOU or any of the permission to you. So then only you can publish that information. So that is the mainly the legal aspects and ethical and social issues. So misconception, misusing. For example, I am publishing one my article, my name. Some fellow is the stolen my article. So immediately he was removing my name, title and each and everything is the top to bottom is the same, but he was changed to only in his name only. That fellow is removed my name. He was added in his name and published that article. So immediately the article it will be reflected in his name. So top to bottom, before of that, who is the publisher of that article? To me only. So without my permission, that fellow is the publishing that copy. So that is called as a ethical issues. So social issues, the type of that social issues is the arising. So meanwhile, that is the type of that problems cannot be issued. So in this content, what is the information is going on? Going on. So basically, these two factors is the most important. What is called as legal, ethical, and the social issues. These two contemporary is the most important. These two is the as the researcher or anyone of the user to in his mind, then only the smooth going of the taxing of that any of that information, there is no problem. In case the people will be violated the ethics and violation of that Copyright Act, immediately the people will be penalized and implicit the penalties also. So, for example, one in this live example, the Government of India Prime Minister Advisor C.S. Rao is published one of that familiar article in his name. but in the IASA Bangalore, one professor is removed to the CS Rao name and published, added in his name and uploaded and published the one of the science journal. Immediately the people will be, the publisher is the identified. This is the CS Rao, is the Bharat Ratna, is the Prime Minister of India advisor. He was the publisher of the article in the 1990s. The same copy in the 1996 under that day one professor is the copied and published that article. Immediately the company will be blocked in his name and identified and informed to the CS Rao, and worldwide he was uploaded that information. Immediately it will be spreaded that information. Immediately the IASC Bangalore people, the university authorities, suspended the professor and cut off the 3 increments. So such type of that penalized actions is the going on in the violation of that ethics and values. So here, what is that important? Economics and finance. So this is the maintaining also reflected here, the financial problem, licensing in the various ownerships in that time. So without of that licenses, we did not do maintaining any one of the authentication of databases. So authentication is the most important to licensing. That is, once we have the maintaining the any one of the database or preserving, licensing is the most important. And the payment uses of various subscriptions. So payment uses, once we have the uploading the database, uploading the maintenance of the server, we are the procuring the data, so many vendors, we will pay that money promptly. That is the most important. And also space requirements in the electronic environment. Once we are the preparing the any of the digital library, space is the very important. That means in the digital space, that is called as a, for example, 1 MB, 1 MB, 10 MB, 100 MB is called as a 1 GB. 1 G is called as 100 GB, 1 TB. So this is the terabyte, or gigabyte, or megabyte. This entirely it will reflect the storage of the device. That is the most important phenomena here. People, they're changing skills and remuneration. So skills and attributes, the people will be changing the skills. Skills is the most important. And the income generation, publishing, and the charging. So for example, we are the maintaining the database. So publishers, they are the maintaining, asking the charges. So in the database, it will be reflected through the finance only, economics and finance. So we have the sufficient of that funding money, then only we are easily to maintaining the server and providing that information. So intellectual property rights. So what is that intellectual property rights? So here intellectual property right means I am innovative of that one new innovation is research of I have conducted one of the research and invited inventing one of the new trend of the technology. So that is I have applied to copyright. The before of that, no one cannot do the type of the thing. So this is the new invention. So immediately I'm applied to the patent. So that is I am applied to the patent company in India and US. Immediately your innovation is the correct, your formula, your principle is correct. Immediately the patent DST, Government of India, that is the DST, Department of the Science and Technology, they are allocated to the patent of the two concerning the your product. So in this product, in the this called as patent. So in the collaboration of the patents included, the patent it will becomes to the independent of the property rights, intellectual property right. That is intellectual property right means that is the Meda Sampatti. So that is the knowledge acquiring. So once you have the patent, so that is called intellectual patent. You will the only one of the monarch to identify Astavdhanam. So you are the patent, you are the intellectual. So you are the intellectual of the people. So such type of these things. So in the intellectual properties, it will be included what type of the information are included. It will be Copyright Act. So intellectual property right. We have the invention, it will be completed. So you will get it to an invention. The copyright for you only because you are invented. You are the new innovation. The product you have the applied. You have the increasing. You are the new invention of the product. It will be developed. So it is called as a copyright. So the trademarks. What type of the trademarks? For example, in the Hyderabad Halim is there. What is the trade and the trademark of that patent? So the people will be patent in the Hyderabad Halim. In the Pista House Halim is the patent. Then no one is their name on the Pista. So there's the standard and the globalization they are providing to the standard structure. That is one thing. And also one of the patent of that example in the TTD Laddu, Tirumala Tirupati Devasthana Tirupati Laddu. The prasadam is called as a patent. No one cannot to sold on that name of the TTD Laddu. So that is called as a only in the patent of Lord Venkateswara. So here only in the patent of the Pista House, Halim. So such type of that patents trademarks that is mainly and standard trademarks and also trade secrets. So trade secrets means, for example, COVID is there. COVID time at the time the Covaxin is the developed. The Bharat Biotech is the developed. Serum is the developed the one of the drug. So which is the drug is the suitable? So the formula is there. Covaxin is there. Covaxin formula, it will be one of the secret formula. So we did not. That is the trade secret. We did not to disclose any one of the people. Once we are the disclosing that formula, immediately in the worldwide, all the people can be producing and processing the Covaxin. So immediately the process will be going on. That is the trade secret. We will keep it keep in our custody only. They did not do in Government of India. They will be asking. So Covaxin, what about the formulas were? They did not to tell that any other people to the public domain. So that is the trade secret market will be goes to the only concern in the Bharat Biotech only. So such type of these things and also patents. So patents means you are conducting one of the new innovation, new trends. Covaxin is came. So Covaxin is coming to Bharat Biotech. So Suchitra Ella and Krishna Ella. The both people they are the inventions. The patent in the name of the Bharat Biotechnic only, Bharat Biotechnologies only. No one cannot to get it that patent. So that is serum. Serum that is one of that is only in his name of under Covaxin. That is under drug that is there the using. So that type of these things only. Okay. And also industrial design. So in the patent of that point of view, industrial design. So in this intellectual property, industrial designing. So what is the going on industrial design? That also one of the content here. And copyright, mainly in the copyright formula, what is that? So copyright it will be don't to take that any of the copy directly without the permission of that people. So once we have the violated the copyright, immediately it will be penalized. That is one thing. And trademarks we have the discussed here, and trade secrets we have the discussed. Patents we have the discussed. So the industrial designs also we have the discussed. So this is the main intellectual property rights. So this is the intellectual property rights. The woman, those who are the invented to innovating of that any one of the new innovations, it will be going on. That is called as a patent of in his names in his industry. So here, so what is the main thing in management of digital libraries here? So many things is there here. The privacy and censorship and digital devices. Here in the digital libraries, it will maintaining the preservation and storing and intellectual property right here. So legal and ethical and social issues and privacy and censorship and digital devices. So social threats is mainly. So what is the social threats? Today the social media is there. So social media, what is the social media? Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. So LinkedIn. This is all of the social media. WhatsApp. This is the social media. Once we are the uploading any of that information, the shown n number of the comments will be going on. So that is the sum of the sometimes we are the publishing any one of the information on the social media. It will be very negative impacts that is coming. So that is the main important. And the skills and developments of the trading or training. So here skills and development and training is most important. So without of the technical skills, knowledge of the skills, we did not do sustainable to providing that information qualitatively. So here skills and development is the most important. So this is the basically, so that is the WIPO, World Intellectual Patent Organization, World Intellectual Property Organization, WTO, World Trade Organization. This is all our intellectual property rights. There are the worldwide, they are the leading of the personalities. So this is the main important of these things. Okay, here it will be completed in the lesson also. So next we will discuss the digital rights and management. So next class we will discuss remaining these things. Okay. This is the third block and 12th lesson is completed. And today is the fourth block, first unit, that is the 13th unit also it will be completed. In the next class, we will discuss to the digital rights and management principles. So in the next class, if you need any of the doubts in this concerning of the digital library, you can prepare up that any of the questions asked to me, then only we'll be finalizing any of the questions. So thank you. This session is over. Next session we will meet you in the next what is the schedule. So next session is the called my class is on 13th May. So we will meet in the same schedule, same classwork. Thank you for your listening. Thank you. Any doubts, please?